So dark and cold-hearted, I'm breathless to say the least. So far from a superstar, and my daydreams are killing me. Feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm never feeling okay. Good days are so hard to find. Just help me numb all the pain. I'm one step from dying. My angels keep it at bay. Can't blame the people for trying. Just let me fall to my grave. Just let me fall to my grave. To kill it. Get losing my stuff. To kill it. Just let me fall to my grave. To kill it. Get losing my stuff. To kill it. Just let me fall to my grave. Heart fails under pressure. Wonder if these bad days will last forever. So pessimistic from the past. All the good things end up in caskets. I'm never feeling okay. Good days are so hard to find. Just help me numb all the pain. One step from dying. My angels keep it at bay. Can't blame the people for trying. Just let me fall to my grave. Just let me fall to my grave. To kill it. Get losing my stuff. To kill it. Just let me fall to my grave. To kill it. Get losing my stuff. To kill it. Just let me fall to my grave.
You got me thinking all I did was wrong. Guess you got all you wanted. Yeah, I don't know why suddenly you're gone. You'll never be forgotten. Pretending no one is to blame. Too late to reignite our flame. How did I not see you running? How did I get behind? How did I not see this coming? Guess all you left me run. Guess all you left me run.
Okay, and here you have it. You just watched a 1v1 montage and now you're interested in this build, so let's take a look at it. First of all, of course, I'm using the one-hand frost staff, and for my abilities I chose the third Q, second W and third passive. And for my offhand I picked the taproot. Then for my helmet I picked the cleric cowl and went with the third ability and second passive. Then for my chest armor I picked the scholar's robe and went with the third ability and second passive. And lastly, for my shoes I got the guardian boots and went with the first ability and second passive. Then as for my choice of capes, I went with the Morgana cape, and for my consumables I picked the tier 7 omelette and 2 tier 7 resistance potions. And now let's go quickly over this build's playstyle. So what you need to understand about frost staffs is that you can deal a lot of damage, and if you play it right you can basically win against any build whatsoever. So your main strength lies in how many times you can hit your enemy with the Q ability, and if you can protect yourself from the big enemy attacks. So first things first, your game plan is to keep poking the enemy, especially if he is a melee target. And you should be able to get at least 1 or 2 free shots before he gets too close to you. So then at that moment when he starts attacking you as well, you want to activate your E ability, which will deal a lot of damage, and activate your cape, which will give you the ability to spam your Qs super fast. And when the cape is over, then you want to activate your R ability, aka the scholar's robe, which will give you basically another same type of attack speed. So when you at the beginning use the E or R ability, those are two windows in which you want to deal as much damage as possible. But of course, to counter that, the enemy can activate his reflect ability or use the resistance potions. So if he uses a reflect, you want to back out and let the ability run out. But if the enemy only has the gigantify or the resistance defensive, then just keep on using the Qs, because as a frost mage you will deal a lot of damage and it's just not worth it to run away from every single defensive ability. And besides all of this, you still of course need to remember to use your own defensives, which we have the boots, helmet and potions for. So if you fight against black hands, you know that their whole build is built around doing 2 E abilities. So for the first E, you want to go into the ice block, aka use the D ability. And then for the second E ability, you want to use the resistance potion. And of course, there's strategy you can apply to any build which has 1 or 2 massive attacks, which you need to protect yourself against. And then as for my boots and W, aka the teleporting ability, I use them depending on the enemy. So if I need to run away for a second or 2, I may use my boots or the W. Or if I need some extra damage, then I may use again my W ability. All of that is depending on what the enemy does, which of course you could see from the fights. And then last but not the least, you may saw that in some fights I had my boots to run ability, and in some others I had my boots to gigantify ability. So basically before every fight I first of all inspect my enemy, and then depending on the enemy I pick my ability. So for example, I see a spear player who has no run ability, so in my head I know that he won't be running away and we will be fighting very close to each other, so I use my gigantify ability. But then on the other hand, if I come across a build that has run on their boots, then I have my boots on run as well. So in conclusion, this build is very good and versatile, so basically you can win against every single build in the game. All of the gameplay you saw, I was always outmatched with 50 or even 100 IP higher enemies than me, and I had 0 spec on the frost, besides the level 70 which I had to get to unlock the third Q ability. And yes, this build is more expensive than the other ones by almost 2 or 3 times, but it's definitely worth it, and if you're looking for an endgame DPS build, then this frost staff is definitely a good choice. And that's about it. So, I really do appreciate everyone for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback or different builds that you would like me to make 1v1 montage about, then leave them in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you wouldn't miss any more amazing content from me. With all of this said, you have an amazing day and I will catch you in my next video. So take it easy, peace.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.